huge influence in my life and your life as well. Take a look at this. Then I'm going to show some stuff of you. Mr. Gregory Wilson. Gregory, what's going on, man?
What's up, dude?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, you're from California. I mean, you were born and raised in California. So I understand that.
You just said that like you just hit on a bong or something. I mean, not that you would do anything like that.
No. It was a pipe. It was a wooden pipe, but it's tobacco, so it's fine.
Like this one? Like this one?
You have a pipe? What's that? That's an earbud. It's not a pipe.
Where's the camera?
You gotta
I don't know where the camera is. Like this?
Whoa! What happened to the?
Wait, it's the wrong side.
Gregory Wilson's never smoked a bong before, folks. You can tell. If smoke comes out of your mouth, dude, I'm leaving. If smoke comes out of your mouth, dude. Holy smoke.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, thanks for coming and joining me, man. I really appreciate you doing this interview for my new channel. I really appreciate it.
Delighted. What's it called? A love letter to?
A love letter to magic. Yes, it's a love letter to magic. This whole channel is going to be basically me giving back in ways through book reviews, sharing magic, showing magic, not teaching magic. There's a few. I'm not going to be exposing any magic. I'm going to be teaching the ideas and concepts of magic. And
which is perfect timing about or dovetailing to what we're doing here. We're not teaching magic per se, but some of the principles of deception.
That's right, but it also falls under teaching magic, right? So I've thought about this when I was trying to figure out what kind of channel I wanted. And I went through the dark night of the soul with this one. This was a big one for me. Do I use my channel to teach magic, actually expose methods and ideas and choreographing and stuff, or do I do something else? And in the beginning, especially with the ECAT stuff going on right now and her stealing it and taking it, we had to take big measures with Illusionist, and I gave them permission to release, Divorce in its entirety. The contract was up for that, and so they asked me what I wanted to do with it. So I gave it to them, and I said I want to give it to the rest of, to the community and to the world. But
explain what divorce is to people who are hearing this and not knowing what the effect is, and the fact that Ekaterina has taught it on social media without your permission.
Yeah. So a divorce is a modular effect with a ring and their ring. So your ring and their ring. There's transpositions. The ring goes on their shoulder at one point. And
no, tell that just the one simple singular effect that divorce is.
What do you?
This one here. You take a ring, you put on your finger like this. It can even be a borrowed ring. And boom.
Oh, the pull through of divorce. Yeah.
That's divorce, as far as I know.
Oh no, divorce. This is just a phase in the routine I call divorce. And this is the phase that she has taken and stolen and
do it.
If the real creator can't do his own stuff,
we don't care about all the behind the scenes. Just give the.
It's weird. So it's a real ring, obviously. And so if it really went through the finger, you would actually see it go through the finger.
Oh, come on. Don't forget to tell people, though, this is a normal pack of playing cards.
That's right. This is a normal ring. That's right.
It's a normal, not those tricky dicky half ring.
Well, like what
illusionist gimmicks.
Like what Doc would say, Doc Eason would say, it's not those TV magic cards, right? Remember that?
TV magic cards. Marshall Brodeen.
Marshall Brodeen. That's right. That's right. So, anyways, yeah. So I was really, really, really debating. Again, I spent many a time talking to you personally about this and the direction I should go. And I thought about, well, maybe my YouTube channel should just be about teaching magic methods and stuff, my own creations, of course. But and then I just kept, I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. You made a really good point to me, and it really stuck in my head. If I were to do that, since I have been one of the main proponents and one of the main people that have
opponents, you've been the most ardent opponent against exposure, because when you reveal something, you become, in essence, a thief, because you're giving away other people's material. And you said, what if I gave my own material away?
Right.
The problem is not everything is 100% yours, because there's principles of deception within that. So say you gave away a double lift, but everything else was original. You're giving away a double lift. Therefore, it's exposure, and you wouldn't ever have a leg to stand on anymore against those who are exposing.
Ever. And it was with one of the first effects that I was thinking about of teaching, if I was going to go down that route. And like you said, once you get into the weeds, man, it's a slippery place, man.
Do you know what they are?
You start justifying.
Slippery weeds, slippery slopes, slippery weeds of justification. Because now you get in the mindset of how other people rationalize why they do what they do. You can feel it. I'm glad you got there enough to call me and question if you should do it, because if you don't have a strong, finely tuned moral code, it's very easy to see how you can do it for profit, do it for exposure, do it for clicks and likes and subscriptions. And I'm doing it to improve the quality of magic and bring more people into the conjuring community. Dude, you can go from now to eternity with your justifications.
Yeah. And you notice every single one of those are very Messiah complex justifications too. I'm the person to do it. I'm the one to do it. So it has a real ego kind of feel to it as well. And so I just was thinking about it. I thought about
worse than that. Even worse than that. They didn't expose it right. Let me show you the right way to it.
Right. Well, I used that justification immediately for myself when I saw ECAT do it. And I was like, are you kidding me? She gets millions of people are watching the wrong way to do this. And
let me show you the right way to expose this behind the scenes.
Right. And I will say that I did tell illusionists to reveal, to expose, and to put out divorce to the entire magic community and to the YouTube audiences, which obviously it will be and can be non-magicians. There's no question about that. I believe that I did the right thing with the least divorce because of what and how things happen with ECAT. She blocked me. I blocked her too. E contacted her. She blocked Illusionist. She said F you to all you guys. And she's just one of those people that I'd warned people about for the longest time. These aren't real magicians. These are content hackers. And what they did is they got into magic and they used this idea of magic and they had some ideas that were just good enough to get them known at a certain level. And then once the real them came out, man, it's not about magic. It's all about getting as many people to watch what they're doing. And in order for that, they know that in order for that to be a bigger audience, they have to do something that is immoral. You have to do something that's immoral to get that kind of big audience, right? You really, really do.
You could say immoral at worst and provocative at best.
Sure, absolutely, and unimaginative, and unimaginative all the way across the board. Theft is completely unimaginative. It's lazy. There's nothing in it whatsoever that moves the person up this way. It's always it's static. It's cold. Theft is cold because you're not learning it from the real person. You're not learning. You're not, and that was one of the things I justified too, Greg, is that I was justifying, well, they're teaching the how, and I would be teaching the why, right? So I try to use that as a justification as well. And so, I'm not in any way bothered. I don't lose sleep at night because I told Illusionist to give divorce away. I don't lose sleep on that, but I knew I would lose sleep if I were to teach one thing on this channel. One thing that exposes magic principles and principles of deception, which we'll get to in a second, which is why we're here. And it was my tipping zero, which is my version of zero's beautiful false deck shuffle, right? Full deck false shuffle.
It's on the table.
I realized that the weeds got so tight just in the first 5 seconds of what I would have to say. Well, I'm not going to teach you the zero shuffle because that would be unethical. So I'm just going to assume that here's where you can learn the zero shuffle. Now I send them to places, and then I'm doing my shuffle. But see, I have to, in order for my shuffle to make sense, I have to show the zero. I have to show the zero and give. So I would be like, I can't do that. And so between talking to you, praying about it, and really, really having that dark night of the soul, I've chosen that this is going to be a teaching magic channel, but I'm going to be teaching magic in concept and ideas and psychology. I'm going to be doing a book review of my entire library, and I'm going to be taking 1 or 2 of the tricks in that book, and I'm going to perform those tricks for the camera for you guys, while giving you my review of the book and telling you if you should get the book or not, and why you should get the book. So you're always going to see magic at some level, but I promise you, I will not, and this was a big test for me, this one, I will not expose and reveal magic. I will not be put in that position. I have fought too long and hard for this to be tempted by the powers that be, if you will, in order to have a couple likes and views and subscribes to feed my ego. I refuse to do that. I care about magic too much, and magic's been too good to me to do something like that.
Hence the love letter to magic to go full circle.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. Well, speaking of full circle.
And by the way, you can't be a hypocrite unless and until you have an actual standard.
That's right. Yeah.
So those who don't have standards or a code of conduct can say and do anything they want because they're not going against a particular principle that they hold near and dear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely true, man. It's so true. I think we're in this time period right now in magic where I think it's people like you and me who are speaking of magic, about magic, through magic, in magic, because magic is our entire life. It's what we do. It's in our blood. We were born to do this for whatever reason. We don't know how it works, but here we are. One of the things I find interesting about your story, because you have a fascinating story. You have a story to movie or story to book life. You really, really do. What you used to do before magic, right? And how that has so ingrained itself into how you think when you're creating your pieces, and these principles of deceptions, as you so eloquently have titled that. Why the title, and what are the principles of deception?
Let me ask you, before I go there, I'm just kind of curious on one thing about Ekaterina.
Oh, sure.
I'm curious, you said she started to show her true colors. Do you think she had those colors all along, or she saw the profit motive and the subscription motive? Is it called subscription when you get more people? Or
to subscribe to people? Yeah. Yeah, and it feeds into the algorithm of whatever social media thing is. So that way, then the social media people look at that and go, we want to give you a plaque because you've reached 144,000. Now we want to give you money because, and of course they're now making money off of other people's stuff. In reality, that's really, really what's happening at a bigger level.
So my question is, if you were charitable, would you say she became that because she saw what she could get out of it? Or would you say, and this is the charitable part, I mean, that's the charitable part. She saw a thing and she became that, but you said her true colors came out. I don't know if you can say or read her mind and say she was always like this and then she became that.
No. And in no way is that what I'm saying. Let me kind of go backwards. So when I say true colors, I don't mean, so whenever someone finally just shows who they are and what they're doing, and they're static version of whatever this is they're presenting to the world, that is the true colors of that person. It's been now how they became that, or if they've always been that, I cannot judge that in any form or fashion. But someone, it's the same adage of give a person enough rope, you know, boom, 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 boom. So eventually a person is going to show themselves for who they are, what they stand for, what they believe in, and how they conduct their life in the midst of whatever story that's being told about them, right? Or whatever story they're living out. So that's what I mean by her true colors finally showed. Now, whether or not I mean, every choice becomes the thing. You know, if you look in the Bible, you know, God gave the Pharaoh how many times? It kept hardening his heart, hardening his heart, hardening his heart. He had a choice to do that, right? So I don't know enough about her or life or anything or her psyche. I'm not her, right? So there's no way that I could ever say either way. I just know.
Did you know and like her? Did you know and like her before she started exposing stuff?
No, I had a bad feeling about her from the beginning.
Did she, and what did she, I don't watch social media. I'm just the worst at that.
Well, she was on your show. She was on her show. She was on Wizard Wars.
I didn't even see me on the show.
I know.
I can't look at me.
Yeah, it's hard for me too right now.
By the way, you know, my comedian and magician friends, when I say I can't look at me on TV, and they say, hey, we feel the same way. We can't look at you either.
Right, right.
So, principles of deception.
Yes.
First of all, I prefer the word deception over magic. From day one, when I started in 1978, I just did not resonate with the word magic or magician or tricks or illusion, any of that. Doug Henning was popular and everything was an illusion. It's an illusion. And I'm just like, that's just, look, I'm doing illusion exercises. And it just felt so wimpy. Wimpy, whiny, happy, sappy, namby, pamby, airy, fairy.
Well, why do you think it connected to audiences though so much then?
Because it was anti-magic. It was anti-top hat, tails, white gloves, and a magic cane. When he dressed up like a hippie and he had a tight tie-dye shirt on and you couldn't hide anything with rainbows and unicorns. And
well, do you think that fed into the hippie generation at that time? And it's kind of where he came from?
100%. Now, the hippie generation was right at the tail end of that. So he capitalized on the right time. I think his first special came out when I was in 9th grade. So I was 75, 76. Because the hippie generation was the 60s and up to the mid 70s, but he capitalized on it at a perfect time. And that's why he started to lose favor in the early 80s and where David Copperfield came.
Well, that's why Copperfield took over for sure, because Copperfield presented a more cooler way of being a suave magician and not just this. He had to go in a totally different direction. Of course, he wasn't going to go backwards. Yeah, Copperfield was and it's funny because DC, his older pictures before he became, you know, the Hollywood DC, he did not look like a sex symbol or anything. He was a very skinny, kind of very gangly child, and you know, it's amazing how that he turned into whatever. You know, I think you're right. I think we saw that happen with Doug Henning too.
You are way cooler than me if you get to call him DC.
Oh, that's not. It's not. That's it has nothing.
I call him. People either call him David or Copperfield, and you're DC. Right. I call him Cop. Cop. I call him Cop. Yo, Cop.
Hey, Cop. What's up, Copper?
Yo, Cop.
You call him Copper?
Yo, Copper.
Copper.
I don't call him anything.
Okay, so back to principles of deceptions.
So I prefer the word deception because it's cool, it's hip, and it feels more subversive. And because my show is called A Criminal Act, where I do pickpocketing, card sharking, shortchanging, street swindling, and mental manipulation. The last half of my show is all mentalism, but it's done through the principles of the using the principles of deception to execute things in the real world that people can relate to and are scared of. I want people saying you're the most dangerous man in America. Oh, thank you. That's a good thing. That's a compliment. I don't want them saying it's magic. How do you do the tricks? I like tricks. Magic is great. Who am I doing? There's a committee. Who does that? Is it Kevin Meaney? Oh, also the albino comedian. What's his name? Talks to himself. Yeah, the super. He calls him. To start with a G.
Yes,
I made it worse for you, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You can't tell when my eyes are closed right now.
Is there an R in there? Is that making it worse? There's an X and a Q and a Z in his name.
And a Y. There's a what are those two things called above German things? What are they called?
There's an umlaut and an asterisk.
Yeah, there's an umlaut. That's right.
In his name.
Oh,
yeah, Gaffigan. No, not
Galifianakis.
Gaffigan.
It's
Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
He does the meta comedy. He does the meta comedy.
And he does it. Why is he talking like this?
Why is he talking like that?
But Kevin Meaney did it first.
Oh, yes, he did. You're right. Back in the 80s. That's exactly right. I forgot about Meaney.
Talking like this. I don't know why he's talking like
I can't believe he's talking. Well, he had a little bit of not Rip Torn, but he had a little bit of I can't believe he's talking like this. He had that who used to do that? Paul, what was his name? The gay guy, and he was always the comedian. He was on Hollywood.
Paul Lynn.
Right.
Oh,
right.
You're just being crazy. By the way, back then.
Go ahead.
No.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors. Oh, you want me to go? Who's going? Okay, you go.
Go ahead.
You're not gonna.
You're good at impressions. I'm not.
Principles of deceptions.
To me, deceptions are cooler. So when I do, like I said, the last half of my stage show, I'm getting people's secret computer passwords, their 4-digit banking PIN code. I'm getting all of these things that you would do in magic, but dovetailing it with how to delude and deceive.
Do you
people in the real world?
Do people know that they're watching a magic show when they leave, or do they think that they're seeing a performance artist?
Oh, I don't think they think magic at all. Well, they know that like Darren Brown says, he's using a combination of magic, showmanship, and misdirection to execute his mental mysteries. Yeah. So they might think, yes, there's magic principles in it, but right from the very beginning, I say, I call myself a magician, but that's just a cover. That's how I get in the front door. That's how I get. Look, it's hard to get hired as a pickpocket, a thief, and a con artist.
Right.
You say magician, you get in the front door, and then you get into people's pockets without them suspecting, let alone detecting. Sir, check your wallet. Good. Now we know where it's at.
Right. When go a little bit backwards on what you just said. I'm going to test your brain because I can't remember myself. Who was the one who first came up with that a magician is someone who takes all 5 senses and then manipulates them to create the illusion of a 6th sense?
I don't remember. I did know at one time. Every magician has used it. This would have to be a multiple choice for me. If you gave me like 4, I'd go, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Well, I'm thinking either Devant.
Keep going.
Or maybe Fitzke.
No, definitely not Fitzke. But let me tell you, regarding my my character and my principles of deception, I never once claimed that there's a 6th sense. To me, it's not all about magic or traditional mentalism where I want them to believe that I've got some kind of psychic skills. In fact, I expose psychics in my show in one particular performance piece. So I say the word fake psychic is redundant because all of them are fake, phony, and fraudulent. It's not like this guy's fake, compared to those guys. No, they're all fake.
Yeah.
And they all use particular principles, and I'm going to show you right now, and pardon my presumption, but I do those principles, those fake psychic principles, better than they do. I could actually end up convincing you that I'm also a psychic. So much so that I've had people come up to the show and they go, I know you're exposing those fake psychics and you're using those principles, but you and I both know you're the real deal.
Yeah.
That you know that I know that I know that you know. Come on, you're a real psychic.
Oh, that's great.
And I know you're just saying that there's fake psychics and you're a fake psychic because wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We're both in on it. Yeah.
We both know.
We both. People want to be,
even though I tell them exactly how it's done, without exposing.
Right.
You know, I give away like the Barnum principle.
Gotcha.
I give away things that are super basic, and the fact that if you went to a psychic and you said, "Okay, tell me about me," I'm eager. Oh no! Stop asking questions about me. Go ahead, tell me about me. No. Listen, you know that I know that I know that you know you're the real deal, and I want to hear the real deal. No, you can't ask me to tell you about me. You got to tell me about me. That's where the money comes. I gave you the money. Go ahead, tell me.
J. Does it start with a K? L. I'm seeing a T.
You're seeing it. Well, okay. What does that mean to you? And you say with total enthusiasm, like, I'm eager to know about me.
Right. Is the ghost you're talking to dyslexic? What is going on? What name is this?
Wait, what's that? I'm sensing something.
Speaking of psychics and contacting the dead, watch this dovetail. What's the dead or alive principle?
What a brilliant segue. Wow.
Yeah.
So dead or alive is a principle that I came up with based on momentum to cleverly disguise the fake move as a real move, because that's all magic is. By the way, I love telling that. I just told my neighbor the other day when I did a trick for him, and he said, "Oh, you got fast hands." I said, "Absolutely not. Has nothing to do with speed. That was something invented," I told him, in the early 1900s, so people didn't think how the real trick was done. They go, "Oh, it's fast hands. Hands quicker than the eye." No, it's the absolute opposite. Here's the secret. I said, you're cleverly disguising a fake move as a real move. That's it. End of story. We're done. You got it all. Because I hate to break it to you, there's no such thing as real magic.
What?
So you, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, I get all that.
What? The Easter Bunny too?
Oh no, he's the one who taught me how to do real magic.
And now you're going to tell me Santa Claus is something, I bet.
No, they're all real. They're all in cahoots. It's a conspiracy.
Oh, okay. I feel better now. Continue.
Yeah. So it sounds smarter for one. And it's also like the world's most interesting man from the Dos Equis beer commercials. It's far more interesting to be interesting than to make up what I call fantasy patter, where you go, the way it's done, the Jack was whispering in my ear. And it told me that your card is 23 from the top. Because when you have whispering Jacks, that's how they manifest themselves. Like, wait, what?
Right.
I just taught the principle of avoiding fantasy patter at all costs, because you sound like a romper room Sesame Street weirdo who's treating the kid, and you'll have this voice. Here's how it's done. Like, it's so weird to me. Literally after I gave that lecture, a guy came up to me at a convention and goes, hey, Greg, look over here. Look, in my elbow, I have a zipper. And I thought he was going to take advantage of not doing fantasy patter by doing a parody of it. No parody. No parody. He goes, look, there's a zipper. I reach inside, and there's $3 silver.
Man, I'll tell you, you just unlocked a memory for me. The reason I've never liked this one move in the coins through hand, and then they say I have an injection. There's a zipper here. You push, and then I'm like, what are you doing? Don't. Why?
I have a secret flap, and you have to use this voice.
First of all, why would you tell it to an ew? Like what?
I remember about 25 years ago, I was doing a trick. I used fantasy patter. I don't remember what it was, but I caught out of the corner of my eye the wife elbowing her husband, like when he's done playing his little games, we're going to go out and hang out with the real adults who are cool over there and get away from this weirdo. And that was the last time I ever did it. I got caught in the world. I got in the real world. I got caught in the wild being weird.
And I bet it felt so just, ugh.
I felt dirty and exposed. And on the drive home, I'll do that again. I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
You want to be the coolest guy in the room, not the dorkiest guy in the room.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I've got a little skin flap. That's how they look. And it's a zipper. And I use this voice because that's really what you're trying to explain and reveal. So I've got numerous examples of fantasy patter. It's called go to the Magic Castle in one night and listen.
You can go on YouTube right now, folks, and just type in Magic Castle performances close up and just enjoy your fantasy patter for the next 30 hours.
Listen, there's enough real mysteries of the universe. There's enough real things that we don't understand. You could give a cosmological, teleological, and ontological explanation if you want to go deep, but don't say that that's how the magic is done. Say there's so many mysteries of the universe you can't get your head around it. For example, we all think that you only use 10% of your brain. How many people believe that? That's silliness. That's nonsense. That's not even scientific. It was a philosophical proposition by somebody 100 years ago in a paper called blah, blah, blah. And it was just a proposition. It was just a hypothesis. Right. But people, it caught on and people believe it. Of course, you use 100% of your brain. Of course, your neurons all fire at the same time in your entire brain. It's about being believable. And I like what Andrew J. Pinard says. I use this all the time. Having patter that's plausibly implausible. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's implausible, but when you add patter to it, I can see that. For example, Darren Brown does it all the time.
Yes.
He has this thing he's got a tray. I've never seen it. I've heard about it. He's got a tray of buttons, a silver tray of buttons. You pick it up. There's a certain amount. You tell him what it is. If you just said, okay, there's 67 buttons in your hand. Okay, congratulations, you did it. That's impressive. But you want to make it memorable. You could say something, I don't know what he says, but maybe the synapses fire at a certain rate. And if you combine that with something that's traumatic, it fires the synapses in a way that allow you to, I'm babbling. But he says for me, it happens to do with pain. So if you were to, for example, slap me in the face, your brain kicks in. I'm totally making this up. Give me 5 minutes on Google and I'd come up with something.
No, he does do that.
Plausibly implausible.
He does do that. He does do the face.
Well, that's my point. He does that. So you slap him and he goes 67. But the patter was based on something that's real.
Right.
And you combine that with the principle, one of the principles of deception, and you've got yourself a believable performance piece. That's my point.
Give an example, Dead or Alive.
So Dead or Alive, it's just following up with momentum. For example, if I did this, look.
So pretty.
Here.
Thank you very much.
Notice how I showed both hands empty, but I did it by following up the fake move with a real move. That's dead or alive, because when you do a sleight, you're dead. You could get caught dead in the water if you just stop on the sleight.
And you feel guilty too, don't you? Like, and I think a lot of people have a hard time getting. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And when you feel guilty, it comes through in your acting or your bad acting. So, for example, when I put a chip on somebody's shoulder, I don't just put the chip there and come back. Look how guilty this looks.
Right.
Oh, hope he didn't catch it. So what I'll do is I'll put it there, then grab his tricep and move him. So I'll put it there and I go, here, stand over here. So I'll put it there, here. And I'll just, you follow up with something that's real, and it cleverly disguises the fake as the real, and mitigates the guilt as being innocent. So you do an innocent move after the guilty move. You do a real move after the fake move. And that's why I call it dead or alive.
And once you get to that alive moment, you just, there's such a relaxation in you.
There's a relief factor.
Yeah.
You do it, you do the move, chip on shoulder, do another move that's real, and you can actually breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. So beautiful. I remember the first time you would explain that to me, and I was just, and I see it now, everything I do now. And everything I do, I see it now. It's so crazy. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It is ingrained in you once you get it. Yeah.
I literally do with every single sleight.
Yeah.
Every single sleight. I was noticing me doing it today when I was brainstorming coffee house conjuring tricks for Penguin to do a new series. So there was series 1 and 2.
You're doing a new series? Very cool.
I'm coming to Columbus, Ohio in a few days.
Oh, very cool.
These things are going to be, look for the one called Pick Your Poison. Okay. I think it's the best of everything. We've come up with 158 coffee tricks with cups and napkins and straws and,
man,
you know, everything that's indigenous to the locale of a Starbucks. 158, and a solid 40 of them are good.
That's right. Hey, Greg, what's the Fitzke principle?
So Fitzke principle is something that I named for Fitzke because he didn't call it that. He just talked about in Magic by Misdirection, how to avoid saying the hoary, I have a regular deck. I have a normal pack of playing cards. So, or if you were to do this, for example, let me show you. Here's an example that I have that exemplifies this perfectly. Let me show you a trick with a red deck.
I don't think it's a red deck. I don't think it's a red deck.
You're going to mentally, it's intrinsically argumentative.
Right.
People will want to mentally counter argue and look for proof. Well, it's not a red deck. It's one red card on a blue deck. So you could keep it neutral and say, let me show you a cool card trick. Let me show you a really cool card trick. Now people fill in the blanks to complete the picture, and they tell themselves that it's red. But Fitzke took it a step farther. I don't remember any of his examples. These are my examples. But instead, you might say, let me show you a cool trick with 52 playing cards. Now people are going to mentally counter argue the number, not the color.
That's right. That's so.
You take them off the track by giving them a different set of propositions to agree or disagree with.
Yeah.
So I've got a color changing deck routine that has numerous principles in there that I can't explain unless I do it. So let's move on from that.
That's fine.
But I use Fitzke on everything. Here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example. Eight of hearts. Now, don't forget the card. Remember what it is, and remember where it is, and boom, it's done. I didn't say I'm putting your card in the middle of the deck. This is narration pattern. This is what all magicians do. They say, look, I'm putting your card in the middle of the deck. I push it. Well, they'll do this. They'll say, I'm putting your card in the middle of the deck. I'm squaring the cards.
Right.
I wave, I snap, I blow, and your card comes to the top. First of all, if you wave and snap to do magic, you blow.
I was wondering
why in the world.
I was trying to figure out how you were going to put them all together. Oh, that's so good. I was like, okay,
why do we do this?
Yeah,
I cast a shadow over the. For some reason, only Michael Lamar with his accent can get away with it. You do Michael Lamar?
Yeah, with the cups and balls, right? Of course, with the cups and balls. Yeah. So,
I can't do accents.
Where do you think that came from? What do you think that came from?
Magicians who stopped thinking too soon.
But here's the thing, that got into the narrative of the books, of magic books, and it taught people to do that at a very early age. So we
thought that's the way it's done. We stopped thinking, and we just think, see, this is why I don't like the word magic or magician, because that's how they think. Someone who's a professional thief, con artist, criminal, pickpocket, they don't think like magicians.
That's right.
Because you get caught as a pickpocket, thief, or a con artist, you go to jail or get beat up. You have to think differently.
Yeah.
A magician gets applause, a con man gets away. You don't want applause or approbation. You just want to get away. You want to be gone.
You want to be away from the scene of the crime. Right, of course.
That's it. I have crime scene tape up in my stage show.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, here's something interesting I just thought of. Back in the day, it was the magic wand. When you hit the object with the magic wand, the magic was supposed to happen at that point with an incantation of abracadabra or hocus pocus. Then somewhere along the lines, it went from that to now you can wave your hand, or now you can snap, or now another thing.
Yeah, you don't need the magic wand anymore. You can just wave like a magic wand.
Well, here's the question then. Do you think that was that generation's way of trying to solve the problem of getting rid of the magic wand? Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, blowing on it. Think about that. You blow on it and it changes. So what you're saying is, you know that I know that I know that you know I'm a geek, a dork, and a dweeb. Okay, we've already established that, and here's the proof, just in case you weren't sure. And look, it changed. So you're expecting me to play along in your fantasy game to suspend the disbelief. I don't want people suspending disbelief. I want them believing my plausibly implausible pattern.
Yes. Gosh, that's such a great point, man. And I just want people to grab a hold of that. Like, more magicians.
I'm writing a book right now, by the way, called Phenomena. Not magic. Phenomena, that uses our 5 senses. And each one is based on sight and sound and taste and smell and touch. Each one is so believable, they don't look like tricks.
Yeah, that's great.
And there's only 5 of them.
Is it almost done?
I'll start it soon.
Right.
No, I have all the tricks already, but it's just time.
So this is going to be kind of like this is part of the interview. I want to kind of, it's going to be like a flash. Give me the quickest possible way for the answer to come about for what I'm about to ask. Because I have different items that I want to talk about here. So one of the things that you are known for, deeply known for, is the whole concept of, and I guess this goes into why you don't call it magic either. Why am I doing this? Why should they care? Right? I've heard you talk about this millions of times in our own personal private conversations and interviews, and of course with lectures and stuff that you've done. So I want to give you some examples of either an effect or an object, and if you'll answer, why am I doing this? Why should they care with this object? Fair enough?
Yeah.
Dice stacking. Now, one of the things that I see magicians really don't understand about dice stacking is dice stacking. They don't get the concept of why dice stacking is they usually don't have a context for it, and they think it's just a skill thing, and that's how I see most people present it.
It's not most people, it's everybody.
It's everybody. Yeah, okay. I was trying.
Everybody does it as a stunt. Everybody does it as a feat of skill. The way I do dice stacking solves a problem in the form of a bar bet. So I've got, actually, oh, dude, are you kidding me? I got 2 dice. I need 4 dice. Oh, that would have been so cool if I had 4 dice right here. 4 dice. 4 dice versus Seattle? That's
Are you kidding me? You literally were the dice king for 2 weeks. Where are the dice at?
Here we go.
I get it though. I did the same thing. I put about like I'm done with this now. I'll put it away.
So the way I present dice stacking, that's weird you come up with that example, by the way. Look at this. So picture I've got a dice cup. And I give them the dice cup, they put it in, and I say, we're gonna play a game called low ball. Or
I gotta tell the audience this real quick. Gotta interrupt you, and I hate interrupting, but I got to. So, folks, you don't know this, but this is literally the exact kind of situation I have to deal with. Greg goes, "Hey, I want to show you something," and then he'll call me and he'll go, "Now imagine I have all these things here," and then we play the imagination game. You never. I'm like, I don't know what that looks like until you finally usually go get a cup, and you're like, okay.
Maybe sometimes.
A lot of times. Lately, at least.
Maybe if it's something new, but if it's something I've been working on for years and I'm gonna put it in a book or a magazine, I want to get.
That's true. That's very true.
Because I also have another principle called a thousand timer. If somebody comes up to me at convention, they say, "Hey, let me show you something I just came up with," or they say, "Let me show you something." I go, "Is it new or is it new or is it 1,000 timer?" "Oh, it's new." "Okay, show me." But after that, I want to see your 1,000 timer. I care more about a fully polished, completely realized trick that they've done in the trenches, audience tested, they know it forwards and backwards, and there's nothing that will catch them off guard. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you think they're coming up to us on the subject? Do you think they're coming up to you to ask for advice still on this thing, or do you think it's just something that they want to show you?
Across the spectrum.
Gotcha.
But this is something I came up with years ago because I wanted to answer the question, why am I doing this? Why should they care? I asked that question of every single thing I ever do, everything I put out, everything I perform. It's my starting position. You got to get to the starting gate, because I remember reading in the book by Earl Nelson called Variations. He was talking about somebody came up, he saw a magician doing copper silver, a copper silver transposition. It goes, okay, now watch now. Which hand has the copper, which has the silver? The guy said, "I don't know and I don't care," and walked away before the magician could finish.
Oh. Wow.
And that's why after he said that to me, I never did it the same way again. I'm kidding. No, he said he observed that it maybe like the Magic Castle, or he used to work at Hollywood Magic, wherever it was, that made him realize that you have to have a motivation. And so from that, I thought about that before I don't know, maybe that's what kickstarted me, because I read that book in 78 or 79. I saw him lecture in 79.
Maybe that's what got at that time. Yeah.
Maybe that was the catalyst to say, why am I doing this? Why should they care?
Yeah.
Yeah, very well could be. It's so long ago, I don't remember anymore. But here's my why am I doing this? Why should they care? Most magicians, you go, hey, you want to see something cool? That's their pattern. Boom, 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 boom. And at the very end, all the dice are stacked. I go, okay, that's cool. But does it solve a problem? Or is it just, look how amazing that is? Right. So my thing is this, and you're going to get ahead of me on this now, but I say we're going to play a game called low ball. You take 4 dice, put them in the cup, shake it out. Whoever gets the lowest number wins. You're getting ahead of me. You're getting ahead of me. Whoever gets the lowest number wins. Oh, that's not so good. That's 10 and 6. That's 16. You know what? I got $100 bill here that I think I can get lower than you, but I'm going to give you 2 more tries. I get 1 try. You get 3 tries. Okay. What do you get? You got a 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's pretty low. I'm going to give you 1 more try. 1 more try. 10 is good. Boom. They got 9 and 6. That's 15. 10's your best. Okay. I've got to beat 10 for the $100. And that's when I do the dice stacking and I go, whoop, 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 whoop. And it ends up like this. And I go, look at that. I got a 1. I win. Thank you very much. You take the 100, you put it in your pocket, you walk away. And it's what I call a walk away trick. You don't say a word. You don't look for applause. You don't look for attention. You don't look for approbation. You don't give a ta-da. You just walk away. And they're left to go, how the hell, because if you don't say why, they will say how.
Yeah.
I don't want them wondering how is it done as much as that's a great motivational story. And as Weber says, whoever has the best story wins.
Yeah.
It's about the story because they'll remember a story a day, a week, a month, a year later.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely.
I don't want them to say, how do you do that? In fact, for some reason, I don't know what it is. In the last 15 years or so, people don't ask me, how is it done anymore? You know what they say?
What?
And I didn't do this on purpose. It just cultivated itself this way. They'll look at me after a show on stage or after a close-up show. They'll come and they go, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are you? That's way more theatrically satisfying than, how did you do that? I got to know the secret. I got to know the secret. It's not about secrets. When you're watching a movie, you don't go, how did they do that with the backdrop and the special effects? And they're just going, wow, that's a good story. That's what I want them walking away with.
Yeah.
To me, it's more about the theatrical experience and how it leaves them, how it makes them feel and think after the show.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Well, you do it in spades, there's no question. Birdcage vanish.
Oh, we've talked about, you know what? I think in probably our previous conversations, you took notes, and that's why these are coming up, because the birdcage vanish is a perfect example of why am I doing this? Why should they care?
Nope, that's not how I came up with this.
Okay, so my birdcage vanish, incidentally, I've never done, but this is a thought that I've had because I don't have a vanishing birdcage. If I were to ever do it, it wouldn't be about the birdcage vanishing because that's back to how again. Whenever you see anybody do it, they're saying, how did he do it? Where did it go? Right. How did he do it? Where did it go?
It's a puzzle. Yeah.
It's just a puzzle. Yeah. Where's the mystery? There's no mystery value. There's no deeper mystery of why he's doing it. For me, I take a wallet, I put it inside, and I say, this is my pickpocket practice technique.
Oh, you son of a gun.
This is what a wallet looks like. We'll say this is the pocket. You can see the inside of the pocket. I'm going to try to take it from the inside of the pocket, fully and completely enclosed. And when it vanishes, whoosh, the only thing I have left is the wallet. And I say nothing about the cage being gone.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It's incidental. Great. The magic, the birdcage vanishing is incidental, which actually bolsters the magic of the disappearance of the cage, because I say nothing. It highlights it because I don't say anything about disappearing or vanishing or
come here,
hiding.
Kids, get around and touch my hands and we'll all do this together.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of weird. Hey, kids, come along.
It was kind of strange, wasn't it? Yeah, I agree.
I think it was okay in the 70s.
Twisting the aces.
I've been doing this since the late 70s. My twisting the aces is all about misdirection. It's not about the trick. Cards turning over, boring. Okay, the cards turn over. Congratulations. Boy, you're quick. Boy, you're fast. Boy, you're sneaky. But it's all about misdirection. So I say, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. And if I do this right, boom, I just did it. They go, what'd you do? I go, look, one of them turned over. Do you know why that worked? Because I got you to look up at me. The moment I did it, you looked up at me, or when you looked up at me, that's when I turned it over. So whatever happens, watch, there's one card, that's the diamond. And if I were to get, wait, what? That was a diamond, right? Oh, good. I'm glad you looked at me and answered that, because that's when I turned the diamond back and turned the club over. See, you looked at me. That's the problem. I'm going to give you permission now to be socially impolite. Do not look at me for anything. And I didn't catch your name. Oh, you looked at me. See, you're being polite. I'm giving you and look, there's the hard to turn over. Whatever happens this time, please, I beg of you, do not look at me. You're not looking at me now. See, you've learned. You're still not going to look at me. Good. It's official that you're now socially rude. That's the only way you're going to catch us. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, all face down. You told me your name already. Are you from the area? You're still not. Oh, you're looking down. This is good. I've trained you not to look at me because you know it's misdirection. Do not fall for it. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. The way the last one, the spade turns over, I just wait. Boom, it's done. I waited for all of you to blink at the exact same time. And now you got the hard spade, the club, and the diamond. Right. It's so fun. When's the last time you've done a card trick where people go, oh!
Right, with 4 cards. With 4 cards,
and it becomes progressively more interesting and fun and fascinating.
Do you usually put? Because I know you do this as well. You do the oh, come on in. That thing.
Oh, yeah, don't wait. Hold on. Don't stand there. Come on in.
Yeah, that's the greatest, dude. That is the.
By the way, don't feel bad. I looked too. That's the follow-up line. By the way, I did that one time to a passenger on a plane, and she was on the window seat.
Oh, that's funny.
I said, don't stand there, come on in. She looked out the window. Wait, what? Huh? It's
a dead bird. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the wording.
I looked at her, I said, was my acting that good?
Oh,
no,
that's
seriously,
great.
Come on in. She looked the second time.
Somebody's on the plane. Okay.
That was actually good. That was 1964.
That's right. Twilight Zone. That was
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's right. Some person is on the plane. All right. Magic Square. Now that's an interesting one because again, except for yours, and obviously I've seen yours. A lot of people that are watching this have not. You've taken this to a whole different level where not only does it make sense, but it's so engaging. When I see people do this, and this is one of the reasons I've never, ever put any energy towards this effect, ever. Because every single time I've seen people do it, it is the most boringest, the most mundane thing. It's as if they figured out how to do the 21 card trick with numbers instead of playing cards. Oh my gosh.
Wait, huh? Wait.
Oh, what? It's the same energy, right? It's the same. Oh, here's 4 piles of 7, and you're like, oh my
it's
God.
An exercise in tedium. By the way, you can't see the cards. You can't see the cards, right?
No.
The whole time I've been practicing the bottom deal, and they're flawless. Absolute perfect. Oh, don't ask me to pull this.
Right. You're just licking your hand. You don't even have cards in your hand.
That would be funny.
That's what I thought you were going to go with that. I thought that'd be hilarious. Right?
And you come back and you go.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or the Williamson thing is like, well, the cards are sticking. Let me lick my thumb. And then he licks his.
No, it's wave snap.
Wave snap.
I told you the story about did the snap make it happen, right?
Oh, with the girl? Yeah. Tell everybody though. It was a celebrity, right? Celebrity.
Yeah, it's this girl I used to date, 2006, something like that. Very, 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 very well known. We walk in a restaurant, everybody recognizes her, and I stupidly brought a deck of cards with me. Look, you can do magic with anything. I'm known for impromptu. You could pick. I could do it 3 hours with the stuff that's on the table. And I stupidly, to repeat myself, brought a deck of cards. I did ambitious card, and I went, and it comes to the top. And she goes, oh, that's adorable. Did the snap make it happen? Yes. I was humiliated. Not just because it was her, but everybody recognized her, heard what she said. And I was like, it's so hot here. Is it just me? Or is it?
So we're done dating? Is this the end? This is
the last?
So I'll just leave. I got the check. Oh man.
I felt like a kindergarten teacher.
Sure, yeah, right. So I'm not getting
by the way, funny enough, I met this one lady at a store, and exactly my type. Just exactly my type in every way, except for one thing. She talked like this.
Oh boy.
And I go, let me guess. Don't tell me. I think I got this. Hold on. Are you a kindergarten teacher? She goes, first grade. That was close. How'd you know? I go, oh.
You mirrored her? Oh, that's so great.
Oh, dude, she goes, how did you know I was a first grade teacher? I go, I'm not really sure, but am I close? Was I close? Who's the big girl? Yeah. By the way, when I got intimate with her, she would say, who's the big boy? Who's the big boy?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm kidding. Folks, this is what happens on this channel. You're not just going to learn magic. You're going to learn.
Oh, my gosh.
So, okay. So, Magic Square. How do you, why am I doing this, and why should they care?
You're either talking to people or you've done your homework, because you've picked everything that I have motive. I'd like to think I have motivation for everything, but you're picking one of my favorite ones because it's how I end my stage show. Who closes with a magic square? Who closes with math? People hate math, especially in
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't start off with it being the magic square. I start off explaining how to count cards in Las Vegas. We've all heard of counting cards, but nobody knows how it really works. And I said, I'm going to explain it to you tonight. You're going to take some of shuffle the cards. They shuffle. I give a third to that person, a third to this person, a third to that person in the front row. This is how to make sure the cards are thoroughly, totally, and completely shuffled. So the dealer shuffles those in the third. She shuffles those thirds into those thirds, and these third into that third. So I take them all back. And I say, I want you to reach in and grab a handful of cards. They do. And I say, you're going to count your cards. I'm going to count my cards. I count my cards. Boom, 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 like this. And the hardest part is being a guy and trying to multitask as I'm counting, because I'm doing more than just counting. Believe it or not, I am memorizing. I memorize all these cards, not the suits. I'm not that good. But if I could memorize all of these cards, these are the cards dealt to the players on the table. If I know these cards, I know which cards you've got left as the dealer. Does that make sense? I go, yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's all real world now. Remember, no fantasy pattern here. If I can memorize all of these cards, I know which cards you've got left in your hand. Huge advantage. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Say yes. Absolutely. I go, let's put me to the test. Does anybody have a big giant scoreboard I can borrow? Okay, we'll use mine. And I've got a 20-inch by 20-inch foam core board. I say, I'm going to make a little grid here. But, before I make the grid, do you have, based on the cards that I've got, and I put those in my pocket, you have 16 cards? And sometimes I go, wow, that's amazing. I go, don't be excited. That part was math. See, I just subtracted. If that excites you, this next part's going to freak you out. I said, you've got 16 cards. I'm going to put a 4x4 grid. And I showed them that. I say, I'm going to ask you which cards, I'm going to tell you which cards you have. If I'm correct, I'm going to put on the scoreboard. You have a 2? They say, yeah. You got a 4? Yeah. 5? Yeah. And I go through the whole thing. And at the very end, there's one card left. Does it look like that one? Boom. Got it. Nailed it. They think I'm done with the demonstration of how to count cards in Las Vegas. But that's good enough for most audiences, but you're not most audiences. Oh no, you guys are way too demanding. That's not a good way to end the show. The best way to end it, and I tell them how that this is the end of the show. It's a great technique I learned from comedians back in the 80s. The last thing I want to share with you guys is this. Before I leave, I've got to tell you one last thing. Tells them this is the time to absorb everything now, because this is the big finish, and they're not surprised or disappointed that the show just abruptly ended. So you tell them, you announce them, this is the end of the show, but don't do the technique. And if I get this, this is definitely worthy of a stand. You know,
it's the same to me as when someone.
Don't you feel dirty and icky?
Are you kidding me? It's just it's the same where people are like, oh come on, something like let me give an example where they're like private clubs. That's pretty good, right? You can apply.
What do you see? I actually do say one that's a stock line, and I can't divest myself of this. What do you guys see this every day? I can't get rid of it.
That's
so I even added to it. I at least added to it. And I say, okay. What does your grandmother do this for Thanksgiving?
That's better.
But I add to it. So having said that, I don't use, there's one guy who will remain anonymous, the way he begs for a standing ovation, who lives in Canada, but I won't say who he is, in Western Canada. But I won't, he's a well-known Vancouverian magician. I won't say his name. Don't ask me. Don't say it out loud either. I don't want to make this.
Watch a lot of the Magic Castle performances on YouTube.
Okay.
It's the same. It's literally the whole.
I just don't like that beggy thing. So moving on, keep the momentum going. They think I'm done. And I say, that's good enough for most audience, but oh no, not you guys. You guys are way too demanding. And they're like, oh, I guess we are. He's building this up. That's right. We deserve more than that. What do you got there, Mr. Deception Guy? I almost said Magic Boy, Mr. Deception Dude. I said, what's another word for blackjack? They go 21. Exactly. How amazing would it be without a calculator or a computer that the top row adds up to 21? Would that be amazing? No, that's impossible. 2, 4, 5, 10, boom, 21. What? The second row? The third row? If you want all 4 rows, there's no way. Boom, boom, 21. There you have it. That's it. Good night. Wait, what's that? No, come on. That's good. You want not the columns. Some people ask for it. Sometimes I'm just acting.
Right.
And I'm pointing at a guy. Everyone thinks that there's a guy.
right.
Boom, boom, with the columns. And then I say, what's that? No. Oh, come on. That's good enough. I can't end there. Are you really that demand? You want the diagonal? You want this way or that way? Both ways? Really? Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't. But when you prompt it like that, 95% of the time they jump in. They'll go diagonal. This way or that way. Both way. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. What's that? The 4 what? The 4 corners? It just builds, and it's just an ultimate frenzy.
Well, what happens is the smarter of the audience members start to see the pattern way before. So once you point it out, at least this way, a lot of them start looking themselves, and they start responding before other people do. And then they hear them respond, and then another person looks at like, oh wait, wait, what? So it becomes this.
It's the ultimate participatory performance piece where they jump ahead. They want to play the game. They're taking the ride.
You hear an audience come to the realization separately and then as a whole. It's really an amazing experience. It's not like any other kind of effect or presentation of an effect. And I
actually have something as a callback. And what was that 4-digit banking PIN code from earlier? No. The 4 in the middle, boom, boom, boom. And remember, you shuffle the cards, you shuffle the cards, you shuffle the cards, you selected the cards. That's it. You get a card, you get a card, you get a card. Everybody gets a card. And it still has that new card smell.
Oh, boy. That's an okay one. I'll let you slide on that one. Sponge balls.
I haven't done sponge balls in 30 years, 40 years.
I don't think we're going to get rid of sponge balls. There's too many magicians that still use them. Do you know
why they use You know why? They have the same refrain every time. The same refrain, mainly on the plane. By George, I think he's got it. They say the same thing all the time. It gets a good reaction. Yeah, you can fart in church and get a reaction. You can kick somebody in the groin and get a reaction.
Right.
But does it fit your character?
Yeah.
The world's most interesting man is not going to do sponge balls. In one of the commercials for Dos Equis, the announcer came on, broke the fourth wall, and said, rollerblading. The world's most interesting man looks over at the camera to the side and he goes, no. And comes back with the two hot chicks at the table. It's like, no. You might as well have said sponge balls.
No. No, I'm good.
I mean, sponge balls. Come on. So you can. I know that people listening to this are mentally counter arguing and defending it with all their might. And the reason for that is you don't let go of one branch until you're firmly grasped onto the next branch, which is the secret, the solution, the answer, whatever that might be. I'm going to keep holding on to this until there's something better. The way I motivated it years ago when I actually did a sponge ball routine, probably 81, 82, something like that, I would show the sponge ball and I say, you know where I got this? I kicked the clown's ass on the way over here. Now it's cool. Now it's interesting, especially for people who don't like clowns.
Which is most people. Which is most
people. I punched him and he bounced right back up again. I think it's maybe the big clown shoes. The problem is, you know how many of these you get in a little clown car? There's like a whole gang of these guys. And you take it and you split it and you get another one. You split it, you get another one. Then you do a sponge ball routine back and forth and back and forth. The last one vanishes from their hand. It's put one in their hand, they get two. One in their hand, they get two. I put two in their hand, there's one. They say, where did it go? They look up at me.
It's on your nose. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I expect you to do right now? You know, I feel so dirty right now. I expect each and every one of you to kick my ass. Please, please, please hurt me. I don't deserve this. And I take them, I put them away.
Why you're wearing a clown nose saying that? That's so
I'm wearing a clown nose. Please kick my ass. I shouldn't. In public. In public. I'm ashamed of myself. Do I have shame? I've got shame written all over my face, especially in this area.
That's so brilliant. I think the best reason to use sponges, I think Sankey was the one who nailed that when he came out with earplugs.
I like Sankey. You see the butt coming? Even if he doesn't put them in his ear, it's just intrinsically dirty, nasty, earwaxy. Because you just say, okay, he's doing a trick with clean Band-Aids. Yeah, but
that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. I see that. Well, and also you have to carry these things on your pocket. I mean,
it's just, look, if you make a jumbo coin appear, you're the weirdo who carries a jumbo coin with him. Even if you make it vanish and you walk away, the hot girls at the table or the show or wherever you're doing magic are going to go, he's got that on him somewhere. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's walking around with a jumbo quarter.
That's a really good point, man. That's a really good point.
The only reason I'm going to take him home with me is to find out where that thing is.
Just to find out where it is. And then off with you. Excuse me.
Yeah, so, once she finds out where it's at, you're gone.
Right. You're of no use anymore. So the last one, and this is the reason I picked this, because when I first heard this, if you'll share this, if you won't share this is fine, but I thought I'd ask. When I heard your justification for this, I now want to do this more and more, because it is the most brilliant justification for this effect. Bent quarter.
Oh, that's interesting. I talk about the scam of modern art. The Museum of Modern Art has a 50-ton rock, a rock, that's it, a rock at the entrance. What are we supposed to do? You walk under it. Are we supposed to look at it with reverence and awe and go, wow, look what they found? No, it's look what they made. What's more impressive, a giant rock you did nothing to it, or Michelangelo's The David carved and sculpted from a rock? One is representational and one is reprehensible. One is in your head. One is you have to pretend to appreciate the artist's delusion. I have to be delusional with the arts and go, wow, look what they made. I remember a cartoon, a 2-panel cartoon from like 1968. 67 maybe. I remember being a kid hearing about modern art for the first time in this 2-panel cartoon. The first one was an art critic giving an art tour of a museum, and all these people were behind the stanchion, and he's waxing eloquent about this one black dot on this white canvas. And I'm going to make this up. It was something like, that black dot represents the existential struggle of mankind with the bourgeoisie against the proletariat, trying to manifest the structure of the universe and the meaning of life. And then the second panel was a fly getting up, leaving the white canvas. That was the black dot, and buzzing away. And then the critic looked at everybody going,
Oh, that's great.
All it was a white canvas, and we have to do all the work. No,
right.
To appreciate art, you do all the work, and we appreciate it. Don't do something that's stupid and simple and expect us to do all the work. So I say, I'm going to show you right now a piece of sculpture, and you have to make something of it. Here it is. It's just a flat canvas. That's it. It's already artful. It's a quarter. You can see representation. That's George Washington on that side. You can see representationally, that's Inigo on that side. By the way, when I do this, I'm just telling you about modern art. I don't go into the panel and all that.
Right.
The cartoon. Right. But I'm just explaining. I go, I'm going to turn this into a piece of art. It's already artful. I'm going to make it a little bit more artful. I put it in their hand. They hold on to it. And I say, you have to become one with the art. Remember, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. I'm not a real artist, so you have to create that art in your head. You have to pretend that it's more artful than it really is. And, oh, by the way, did I tell you what the art is? And they open their hand. I say, it's a modern sculpture, and it's just a bent quarter. So I say nothing about the bend. I just talk about the sculpture and how bad modern art is, and how they have to create the art in their own head. And look what you did. That all happened in your head.
That's so good.
I admit I'm a terrible artist. You're the artist because you created that in your head and in your hand.
And now it's an original pice of art, too, that's never been done.
You tell them that. Oh, by the way, that's an original, and I'll sign that.
I'll sign it. Right. Well, here I just
sign it first. You say, I'm going to show you something so amazing that I'm going to sign it in advance, because you're going to ask for my autograph later. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be awkward. Let me just sign it now and get it out of the way.
Let me get it out of the way. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's their signature. They look at it, and there's a persistence of vision or a persistence of impression. That's the same signature. It's got to. Who's going to walk around with 2 signatures and 2 quarters? Right. That'd be weird.
Right. It's interesting.
And you sign the inside curve, by the way, so it doesn't wear off, just for the record.
Oh, that's good. So the surface won't hit it. No surface except for the finger.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting because, when people try to create the fantasy pattern around, so what most people would try to do with that is it's a superhero thing, or it's a psychic ability, or it's the heat of your hand, or can you feel, using psychological anchoring and all that other stuff. It's interesting that when you just point out the wonders of the world already, and you highlight the wonders of the world within the context of an effect, you are not forced to create pattern. It literally is already packaged for you.
It's pre-packaged, especially when you tell them it. In this particular one, it happens in your head.
Yeah.
Because I told them modern art happens in your head. It doesn't happen on the canvas.
That's right.
You have to imagine that rock as something special and artful. It's a con. It's a scam, a sham, and a flim flam. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to create modern art right here, right now, and try to convince you that it's more artful than it really is. Here, I'm going to create a little sculpture. You don't say sculpture in advance. You say, this is the canvas. Look, there's already art on there. There's an eagle and there's a George Washington. It's representational. It's already artful. But put it in your hand. I'm going to make it more artful. Don't say anything about sculpture yet, because they know that's going to change shape. Right. Oh, I forgot to tell you. It's a sculpture. Open your hand and now show it for the first time.
Well, and also here's what this does too, because so many people believe that if you put something in their hand that's already they know what a quarter is. So if you put something that's bent a quarter in their hand, the magicians think they're going to know that there's something bent. They can feel it, but you don't point out a bending of any sort in the beginning. So therefore, their body is not even looking for an abnormality in that object yet. They literally, they just think a quarter's in their hand. They don't.
Well, they think you're going to add to the flat surface, the two-dimensional surface.
That's right. Gosh.
And it becomes a three-dimensional object in their hand.
It's the best presentation hook I've seen for any effect, man.
There were three things that you didn't like. Number one, don't pretend to be psychic. Don't pretend to be a superhero. All magicians, a lot of magicians, not most, not all, but a lot of magicians are maladjusted social misfits with personality deficits, trying to bolster their inadequacies by being a superhero and doing things that other people can't do.
That's right.
The problem is you don't look like a superhero. No. Be who you are. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. If there was a casting call in Los Angeles asking for someone, tall, dark, handsome, with broad shoulders and a chiseled jaw and a beautiful head of hair, George Costanza types don't show up. They know who they are. That's magicians don't. All magicians think of themselves as 007. Now, they're all delusional. I know I'm James Bond, but all these other delusional people.
You understand you are. I mean, it's clear. You're
hello.
the dove came down, a voice opened up in heaven, and yes, you heard your name, and
but conversely, you ask for George Costanza type, short, bald, unattractive, and whatever, they all show up because they know who they are. They're not delusional. Magicians have to know who they are, know their character, and therefore know what they're going to do, and more importantly, what they won't do. You have to know your limitations. A man's got to know his limitations.
Yeah.
What movie?
What
movie?
What's the what?
A man's got to know his limitations. A man's got to know his limitations.
I don't know what movie.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, cool. I don't know.
It's Clint Eastwood. A man's got to know his limitations.
Was that the good, bad, and the ugly? Was that the good, bad, and the ugly?
Probably.
I
don't know.
Well, this is a great place to end this, actually. Dude, man, thank you so very, very much. I cannot thank you enough for doing this.
You didn't ask me. I've got to tell you unsolicitedly. I don't know what your time is, but I want to give you my favorite motivation that exemplifies why am I doing this? Why should they care? And I think I might have told you about it.
That's a great idea.
Here it is. The egg bag has been presented the same way for millennia. For centuries. For 2 or 3 centuries, it's been presented the same way. I put it in, it disappears. I put it in, it goes into the 4th dimension. I put it in, it goes into the netherworld. I put it in, it's not here, it's not there. Who knows where it goes? For me, it's pickpocket practice, because this is an actual pocket. It's a bright red pocket. If you can take from a bright red pocket, you're ready for a real pocket in the real world. This is what a pocket looks like on the inside. This is what it looks like when it's not attached to the pants or the suit or anything like that. This is a pocket, and you have to have sensitive fingers. So this is why I use an egg.
You use an egg.
I had a watch, I had a wallet, I had a roll of coins, and I went back full circle to the original egg because it's fragile and sensitive to the finger.
That makes so much sense to use an egg if you're going to pickpocket for practice. Because if you go too hard, you're going to break the egg. If you go too soft, you're not going to be able to hold on to the egg, and it's going to, that's brilliant. That is brilliant, dude.
And it's only 3 phases. It's 3 phases. People ask me all the time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's not 27. It's not Daryl's ambitious card routine. So people ask me all the time, is there a school to learn this stuff? I go, no, you have to ditch school to learn this stuff. So I say, well, actually, there is a pickpocket school. There are 3 of them around the world. There's one in East London, one in Rio de Janeiro, and one here. No, here, right now. I'm going to show you how to pick a pocket or 2 using this as an actual pocket. That's my opening. So the first one I take it.
I love real quick. I love that you use the Oliver
Oliver Twist. Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver
Twist. Pocket or 2.
In the song. That's right. Yeah.
May I have more, please? So the first, so it doesn't disappear. It's a skillful feat. So it's not just gone into nothingness. It's gone and appears over here in this pocket. Look, I'll do it again, but I'll turn it inside out. You got an insider's view, a behind the scenes view, and I literally put it in the hole. Because when you turn it inside out, you see the hole. I literally put it in the hole, hold it with my hand so they think it's there. They think it's there, and I open my hand, and it literally looks like it just vanished. Because I put it in the hole from this side. Come around here and go boom. It's still in there, and I show it over here. Turn it back inside out, and I say this. Here's the last phase. Here's the last lesson for picking a pocket. If you ever get caught, you got to put it back. You don't just walk away. You don't run away. You put it back so they don't suspect, let alone detect, that you picked their pocket. So I'm going to put this back in such a way I'm not just a pickpocket. I'm actually a put pocket. Are you ready for this? And I have them hold onto the pocket, both sides, look inside. They can't see it. I go and I take this last one. I almost told you the secret. I put it in my hand. Boom, it's gone. It's clean as that. And I look over and I go, no. And I actually walk by when I do it. So it's plausibly implausible that I did it. It just doesn't vanish. I come close to them and I bump them. And when I bump it with when I bump it with my elbow, it dislodges it from where it's at. And just to make sure it stays out, I go, do you feel the difference yet? And they go, oh, yeah. And I say, if you reach in there and you find that egg, everyone's going to freak out. They reach in, find the egg, and that's how you pick a pocket or 2 and blah, 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 blah.
That's absolutely beautiful, dude. Gorgeous. Absolutely.
And it all started from what? Why am I doing this? Why should they care? Probably motivated originally from Earl Nelson's variations.
Guys, if you want to learn more about Mr. Gregory Wilson, go to Secret Source. You'll see it right now, secretsource.com. Secret Source. Yeah, thesecretsource.com. You'll see it right here, right now. Also, make sure to subscribe and to share these videos with other magicians and let them be a part of this journey that we're on right now. Greg, again, I want to thank you so very much for being here and taking the time to share with all of the world right now this whole concept of seeing magic differently than what we've been shown to see. I see you have to go. I as well. I got that website.
I'm sorry. What's that? Okay. No, it's Ekaterina. It's what?
Throw a ring at her for me. I'd appreciate it. On that note, guys, I'm Justin Miller. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.